Peace and love. Peace and love to everybody, y'all. Peace and love. So we got a lot of very interesting things going on here. Some of y'all may not know about it. Some of y'all may not have heard about it. May not even have been talked about from what I've been seeing. But the fact is, things are happening. Things are good happening and things are bad happening. I'm going to save the best news for last. Alright? Go handle some business and make some money, but I'm going to do this for y'all because it's important. I know a lot of folks are talking about it. All they've been talking about is that what this other people is going to do, not saying that I'm not, you never know what these people, but the stuff they was going to do and this thing, this disease and all stuff, they was going to try to act like something's going to happen. Trump already said they weren't going to let them go about that route to get what they wanted. Doesn't mean that they may not try to go another route. However, it's important for you to know what's going on. So we're going to recap on what happened yesterday and a couple of days, right? President Donald Trump, his inauguration, but when he got in, he started signing a bunch of executive orders. And you have not voted on these things, but what I have noticed is that some things that you may not have noticed is that, keep in mind, everything that he's putting in place so far, besides that judo thing he was talking about that, that's not going to be a good thing. But other than that, everything he's talking about besides that is what the people want. So this is crazy, but this is a good thing. However, you still got to watch it. Remember, he'll make a deal with the people and then turn around and take the deal away, right? Turn around and say, I don't want to say a deal, but that's wrong. He'll sit there and say, okay, yeah, a truce, and then turn around and say, oh, it's not a truce later on, right? That's what the scriptures basically say. It says Israel, we already know who's real people. We don't use that name because it's petty. We understand what we're referring to. He'll, of course, give them some freedom. He's pardoned a lot of folks as well that they want to throw in jail, which is a good thing, except he's not pardoning Putin. He's not stupid. Let's keep going.
To the Oval Office, President Trump behind the resolute desk, signing dozens of executive actions, starting with perhaps the most controversial.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages, approximately 1,500, full pardon. What they've done to these people is outrageous.
Pardoning nearly all January 6th defendants, effectively ending the largest investigation in federal law enforcement history. On January 6th, more than 140 officers were injured and Capitol property destroyed. The president had teased his plans to pardon at least some of the defendants, including earlier at the inaugural parade after greeting relatives of Israelis and Americans taken hostage by Hamas.
I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages, pardons.
But it had not been clear that the action would include those convicted of violent offenses, including assaulting police, which some Republicans had argued against.
If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned.
Trump also commuting the sentences of individuals associated with far-right groups, the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, including its leader, Enrique Tarrio, who had been serving 22 years in federal prison for seditious conspiracy. Supporters for those pardoned celebrating overnight. President Trump also responding to the day's other pardon announcements. In the last hours of his presidency, Joe Biden preemptively pardoning the members of the committee that investigated January 6th, including former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, along with Dr. Anthony Fauci and General Mark Milley. None has been convicted of any crime. Biden also later pardoning members of his own family.
I was a little bit surprised that he did it because it makes him look guilty.
Trump also signing a barrage of executive orders, including declaring a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border and attempting to end birthright citizenship in some circumstances, a right that's guaranteed by the Constitution.
Good. That's a good one.
The inauguration day had started with unity between Trump and Biden. before Trump took his oath inside the Capitol due to frigid temperatures.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
In his inaugural address, Trump delivering this searing critique of his predecessor without ever mentioning him by name.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
The traditional parade also moved inside, the president celebrating in front of a massive crowd of MAGA faithful in downtown D.C.
You're witnessing the dawn of the golden age of America.
Now, we must understand that there's some things happening so far. Besides that one thing, everything that Trump wanted was good so far. All right, I'm gonna get to this next video. I'll pop my face on the screen afterwards, but this is very important. Some of the stuff that he put in place.
Public safety
Keep in mind, these are things that people want.
threats. Again, crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that and it implicates other executive powers as well.
Yeah.
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Mr. President,
And that was actually-
that Maduro would accept Venezuelans.
Say it.
How will you make sure that Maduro will accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see in Venezuela. We're looking at.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign organizations.
It's a big one.
Yes, sir.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now designated as organizations foreign. And Mexico probably doesn't want that. But we have to do what's right. They're killing our people.
So what's going on is that Trump is doing everything that every black, white, Puerto Rican, everybody actually been asking for, and so far for all these other nations that's here. Besides the one that's getting ready to kicked out, because he signed his executive orders, having booted out ASAP, and then put military along the border to keep them out, basically. And especially all the gangsters, that Venezuelan gangsters that are over here. So what's going on is that I'm not saying Trump's a good guy. I'm not saying, because you can't say anything when it comes to the fact that we have to always realize that they are related. And the fact is, birds don't fly with one wing. So, and their sign is the eagle. So you can say what you want. End of the day, they're showing you who they are, just on symbols alone. But Trump is cleaning up a lot of stuff they did, and he's only doing it. Well, I'll tell you in a second why he's doing it. But he's giving us everything that everybody's been asking for. He's getting rid of the gayness and all that stuff. He's making it. He's making it that there's no more law of where there's all these different sexes. You are man or woman. That plain and simple. He's not going with that stuff they want to go with, which is a good thing. Now, the only other thing that he brought in that he's talking about besides digital currency, he's going to try to go on by the end of his term, which is not what we want. That's going to set up for the next guy. But also what he's talking about is well, there's one good thing he's talking about besides that. But in fact, I'm gonna let them tell you about it, because I don't want to tell you the whole videos. I got 3 more videos to show y'all. I had to stop myself because I actually would have gave away some of the video. So, but just keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff that Trump is doing that people actually been wanting for a long time. Like people didn't want any that gay stuff. People didn't want that. Trump's trying by signing executive orders in to make it against the law for even teachers to even sit there and tell a child that he or she is in the wrong body. He's making it, and they can be put on criminal charges to go to jail for saying that to a child now. He has signed executive orders to keep them away from the children. He has signed executive orders to stop all the pedophilia with the children. He has signed executive orders to get people out of the country. And he's been signing a lot of executive orders that people actually want. I'm not saying Trump's a good guy. They say that there's a prophecy that they say the United States will have a savior, but they talking about us, United States. Remember who the United States they talking about. Let's not be stupid. All right. But it also told you in that book that Israel, now we know the word Israel is a pagan word, so we don't call ourselves that. But we also know who they're referring to when they say that, although they use their name for the Blackamoors, which would be an Israelite. And the Blackamoors, if you didn't know, put black folks, so-called black folks, indigenous people, original people in slavery. And we actually got saved by one of war with them. If you didn't know, it's actually a black devil started war. And the black Moors actually have the closest DNA to the devils themselves. The second one is obviously the white family. And the white family, I ain't talking white folks. Those, yes, they understand that things happen to them. Their body got manipulated and stuff. I don't want to trash talk them. Because I'm not here for hate. But the white ones that I'm talking about, you see this Queen of England and all this other stuff, those are the other guys they work with. That's why they put them there to take orders from the Blackamoors. But I don't want to get into that because that's not what I'm here for. But plain and simple, we have to understand that also everybody that's related, anybody that's in the president's seat right now, you have to understand that they come from Moorish descent. If I can get his exact name, he was from Egypt. A lot of folks be serving him and don't realize. Amun Ra was a Blackamoor Egyptian, and he wanted folks to serve him as a god, but he wanted to make sure that all the riches that he stole, went to his seed. The seed that is his, that is getting a lot of this stuff. Never mind the black kings that is his seed, who are Blackamoors that not supposed to be in our castles that he stole and stuff like that. And it's right here in the United States, y'all. Literally a whole bunch of them. You'd be surprised, cities and everything. But the fact of the matter is that they took everything that they wanted and put a white hand so the black hand will hide behind it. But they work with the white hand that's related to them. They hide behind the white hand that's related to them, as the black hand commands the dirty work, as they get the commands from the devil daddies, which just means enemies. All right, and enemies come in many shapes and forms. I'm not trying to put any scam to it. I'm just giving you all the cold hard facts. All right, now next move. All right, is that you need to watch this next thing. Okay, these are some of the things now. Jason A. I don't know his whole name, but Jason A. He has put this on video. We're gonna play it right now about what Trump's doing, signing a lot of executive orders into play.
They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year, not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000. I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
A defining political promise to crack down on immigration. The president quickly moving forward on a slew of executive orders.
We will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. I will send troops to the southern border.
To the tune of applause, and moments after President Trump took the oath of office, the CBP One app was already shut down. It allowed Cubans, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, and Haitians to schedule appointments and legally enter the U.S.
Fair warning, if you do not have a citizenship in the United States, I honestly will tell you that you want to find a way back home as quick as possible, because if he deports you, I don't think they're going to be worried about if your kids are with you or not. I don't think they're going to worry about they separate y'all and send y'all both back to y'all country and you got to find your child. I'm only saying it because I know how the United States get down. Now, maybe under Trump, he might try to do a little better, but hey, Trump's still cleaning up. And then when Trump cleans up, one man can't watch the whole show. Let's be smart. Let's not be stupid. And then again, don't forget that he's only making a deal exactly like I forgot to tell y'all. He's only being nice and giving everything that everybody wants, because everything everybody wants is stuff that we've been saying that certain things shouldn't be anyway. It should be this certain ways, and now it's happening. So what's that mean? Now he already knows, because we're woke. He knows that we don't do sacrifice and all that stuff. Remember, the Bible is a parallel, it picks some parallels. So it's not talking about an actual sacrifice. What it's talking about is the fact that he's going to sit there and let it be the way he wants it to be for a little while. And that's exactly what he's doing before he switches up. When is he going to switch up? Most likely towards the last year or towards the end of his term. Because he's talking about getting that digital currency in by the end of his term. He's also talking about a day of worship by law by the end of his term. So what that means is that by the end of his term, or the last his term, he's going to switch up on America. He's going to switch up on what they want to say Israel. He's going to switch up and say, remember all that stuff I said that was right, that y'all wanted? I'm changing that. It's going to be gays. I'm changing that. There's going to be this. I'm changing that. There's going to be that. Matter of fact, let's try to bring back this. Oh, now I got it straight for all the white folks in America from the field that is great. And all of these black folks got jobs. We got more white folks are living here now, and we got more of his kind living here now. You know what I mean? So you know what? I think we need more jobs. So why don't we try to bring slavery back? Oh, matter of fact, we didn't want them working anymore. Let's bring AI robots and make everybody slaves. Matter of fact, why don't y'all do the Elon Musk thing? Because he is his partner. If you didn't notice, he is heavily influencing Trump. Y'all need to take the Elon Musk check. So I'm telling you right now that he's putting all this good stuff in right now. And you're going to see some evidence. He's putting all this good stuff in right now, right? Because this is what our people wanted. But he's pretending he's doing it for all of the United States, as he still makes it good for the white hand. You know what I'm talking about, and his kind. At the same time, though, he's only doing it for a temporary time so that he can snatch it back later on. Remember that book said we'll make a truce, make a deal. We don't do deals, but you know the Bible speaks in parallels. We didn't make a deal with Trump. However, Trump is now giving the people what they want and getting rid of certain stuff that we don't want, such as gayism, and making it against the law to be gay and all this other stuff like that.
Seeking asylum.
So help me God. So help me God.
Just minutes after taking the oath as the 47th president of the United States,
Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders.
Donald Trump used his signature to make big changes to U.S. policy.
The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring.
Continuing to sign stacks of orders into the evening.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
President Trump says he'll make good on his campaign promise to deport millions of undocumented immigrants, starting with criminals first.
We will also be designating the cartels as foreign organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
Mark Daniels is the sheriff of Cochise County in southern Arizona, bordering Mexico.
Currently, over the last 4 years, we've seen an uptick I've never seen in my 4 decades of law enforcement.
An uptick of border-related crimes that he says has cost his county over $14 million.
The speech from President Trump was refreshing, re-energizing, and it provided hope back to the people in this county.
The president's wide-ranging executive orders directed at immigration include ending President Biden's catch-and-release policies, reinstating Remain in Mexico, sending troops to the border, and ending asylum for those crossing the border illegally. It's still unclear exactly how these executive actions will be implemented. President Trump also promised to use executive actions to end birth citizenship, a call that many experts suspect would face a mountain of legal opposition. The stance is also sparking the ire of Arizona Senator Ruben Guy.
So, let me explain that for anybody who was just freaked out from hearing that particular part. What that means is that now for foreigners, this does affect y'all. If you are born in America, you are original, one of our people in America, this doesn't apply to you. So calm down, because I can already tell that some of y'all probably didn't know that it would apply to us. There's certain laws they can't put against us, and Trump knows that. However, what's going on with foreigners? So if you are any other nationality besides our people, when you're not an American citizen, I'm gonna be honest and let you know that if just because if you legally sneak here and then get your thing legally, or if you go over here legally and you get your stuff legally and you become a citizen of the United States of America, what's actually about to happen is that once you have a baby, your child is not a citizen. Your child does not get to become a citizen until they hit 18, but your child has to go take the Fangolin test and all that other stuff to take the test. If they don't pass the test, then they're not considered a citizen. What that would mean ultimately, they probably have 1 or 2 times to take that test. If they fail that test, that means they get deported. So if you have done it legally, then I advise you to start getting your child to start staying that test as soon as possible before they turn 18. For our people does not apply. For our people, we don't even want our people to become part of their citizenship. All right? Because the fact is that that's how they tricked us to joining with them as far as how Martin Luther King wanted his dream, which was really not his dream. That was their dream. The dream that should have been had from that speech, because he didn't write all his speeches either, by the way. That's another thing I ought to know. The speech that should have been spoke was, I had a dream that it was going to be a place where it's going to be all our people and it's going to be in peace. We're never going to be bothered no more. We don't have to worry about watching our backs anymore. Nobody will steal anything from us, and we'll be in a place where there's nothing but love, peace, and harmony, love, and light. That's what it should have been. A speech should have been about. But again, his speeches were wrote. Martin Luther King's speeches were written for him. So what you expect? That was speech to help us, to encourage us to join in with them, which is nothing more than a burning house. And as this house started to burn down, you're seeing that there, and maybe he was told to save face with the original people for a temporary time until things get a little better, so they can fix it, so they can buy more time and get what they wanted, because they always run out of time now. They have no more time. We're not getting more time. It would be stupid to. They have no more time. I tell you what you should be doing is stacking your bread, not for 4 years, not for 3 years, but stack your bread for 8 months and get the fuck out the city while you can. There's places to go. People got places to go. They got land. I got land. Other folks got land. There's enough folks that got land. It's not about, okay, one, if you're going to do that, make sure that you agree with what the person's saying as far as your basic truth, which is really not your truth. The truth of the fact is that you understand what we are, who we are, and that we are gods. Except we don't use that word because it's pagan, so we just say we are angelic beings. We come from the thing that they call the life source. They call it the light source or life source. They call it the creator of all. Really, it's just our home. It's where we at, a whole bunch of us all together. And it just looks like electricity light. It doesn't have a form, shape, it doesn't have a penis or private, if you know what I'm saying. All right? That's why people say that I don't use a pagan word, but they forsake conversation that God is not man or woman, because it's not. Now, when you see me or you see you and you see a female that's one of ours, you are, in fact, looking at the thing they call God, however we use that word, because it's pagan. because that is a representation of them in the physical sense of their spirit being. In other words, that's how they look in the spirit itself without the fleshly body. Except we don't see it that way because all we can see is a ball of energy light for the folks who have seen it. All right, and that's just our home. That's why we say that's where we come from. They understand what's what, who's who, and what's going on. And again, I already tell you that a long time ago. To understand is that there's only one spirit, and that spirit separated itself and the Google's numbers, which is unlimited amount of numbers, which cannot ever be measured, counted, or numbered. So that explains us. We are here because we are here. We exist because we exist. We are because we just simply are. Now do you get it? They take it and twist it in the Bible and have you thinking all this crazy shit. And they did a wonderful job on that. But if you don't know how to decipher it, if you don't know how to code that book, then there's no point in reading that book because you will be, unfortunately, deceived. This is why you got spirituals and all this other stuff turning God into a woman and a man turning God into a man, not realizing that our people are one and that, yes, we are all it, our people, except we're supposed to be using that G word because it's pagan. Okay? If you don't know God, that actually is a half word of the devil. It's actually one of the half of the devil is the devil's first original name. Okay? The L was the second part of his name. That's why they say El thy G in the Bible. It's giving you his whole name, the devil's whole name. So you got to start realizing what's going on. So we try to stay away from pagan words. Now, Trump's doing an awful lot of stuff that you want and some things you don't want. Well, not for our people, but he's doing a lot of stuff that we want for our people, but some things they don't want for some other people. Which, unfortunately, I do have to be honest with you and tell you other people who are foreigners who have came to this country, not the Mexicans, because you Mexicans, the fact is y'all were in Texas, y'all were in Mexico, y'all were in New Mexico, and that us were all one particular part. Mexico was part of the United States before they called it the United States and changed the name to America. All right, so we ain't talking about y'all. At least, the dark-skinned ones, we ain't talking about the dark-skinned ones or the brown-skinned ones, even the light-skinned ones. The pale-faced ones, listen, man, y'all already know y'all Spaniards to stop the cap. All right. But yeah, we wanted a lot of the Spaniards and all the other groups out of here that didn't have citizens, and we really don't want, to be honest, any of anybody here but our people. And anybody that's us will tell you the same thing. It's not, we don't hate y'all, and some of you might not like y'all. We don't hate y'all, I'm just being honest. We don't hate y'all. I don't hate y'all. Speak for myself. But I do recognize who y'all are, what y'all are, and this is the problem because we can't coexist. Y'all have proven it, we've tried, it doesn't work, and we're done, we're fed up, and we're not agreeing on giving out any more time. So Trump will pander to us for the next couple of years, right? And hopefully most of us will get out of Dodge, hopefully, the places to come to. And when he realizes that we're not buying any of the stuff that they're going to try to get us to do, he's going to switch the game. Remember, you heard this here first. And who's in his earlobes? Elon Musk. If y'all don't know who Elon Musk by now is, something's wrong. And I ain't talking about Elon Musk, the man, the person. I'm talking about Elon Musk, who he really is. If you don't realize that he's an antichrist and Trump is going to set it up for him, put the digital currency in for Elon Musk to take over, then you don't understand. Trump is the last president. The next guy is the dictator, the world leader. That's not a president. He's setting it up for Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is sincerely working business deals out with him, telling him how to do it, and Trump doesn't see it coming. See, Trump thinks he's helping people, and he is to a certain extent, and when that happens, he will not be helping people. And Elon Musk comes in, it's going to come in like he came out of nowhere. In other words, there's not going to be a vote, there's not going to be nothing, it's going to slide right in. You watch. And then we got a war coming. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. Because Russia actually sent out a warning about nuclear war because their economy is crashing. They're falling apart. And they sent messages to the United States for help. And they can't get it. And now that Biden's out, this is why Russia is now speaking out. Putin was the one that spoke out, hoping that Trump may lay some type of assistance. You think Trump's going to do that when he's trying to fix the country for the white hand? Why would he? So when you're going to have Russia saying, I thought you were my business partner, and eventually Russia's going to get fed up, probably towards the end of his term. This is everything he wants. Let's keep going.
Gallego, calling it, quote, anti-American, posting on X in part, ending birthright citizenship is unconstitutional. Plain and simple.
We don't really think that they're going to accomplish the goals that he has set out to do. Quite the contrary, they serve to create terror within our communities, impacting Latinos who are also citizens.
AP pollsters showed that immigration was a top issue for people across the country and right here in Arizona. And some experts said immigration helped President Trump win the swing state. Reporting here in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
And to get some more perspective on these executive orders on immigration that the president issued earlier today, let's bring in Bill Hing, who is a professor of law and migration studies at the University of San Francisco and the director of the Immigration and Deportation Defense Clinic. Professor Hing, it's great to have you on tonight. We appreciate the time. There's a lot to sort through here. Let's start maybe with sort of the most immediate implications for migrants who are seeking asylum here in the U.S. President Trump today immediately ordered the end of a Border Patrol application that's called CPB-1. And many of those migrants who had made their appointments with immigration authorities through that app had those appointments canceled. What is the role of this app in providing a legal path for migrants to come into the country, and what is the impact of ending this program?
Well, the app was a vehicle that President Biden used to create an orderly process. In other words, he told people, if you want to apply for asylum, you've got to get in line and fill out an application on this app and then wait your turn. So there were a few thousand that were allowed to come in each day. Appointments were made for them to be processed. It wasn't a guarantee of asylum, but at least they would get interviewed. But people who showed up for their interview today found out that it was canceled. And so it's disappointing because those folks have waited for many months to get their appointments. And Trump's announcement also that people come in illegally are going to be foreclosed from applying for asylum. Well, that's a violation of international law. We have an obligation under treaties to allow people to apply for asylum who make it into the border. So that's problematic as well.
Do you see any sort of a path for a legal challenge? Obviously, the discussion today with a lot of these executive orders is that they're not ultimately going to be enforceable, or they'll be struck down by the courts. What is your sense?
Exactly. I do think that he will not be able to foreclose asylum for people who are eligible because of our international obligations to allow people to apply for asylum who are fleeing persecution. I think that effort will be struck down by the court. But his other things, like putting more military on the border and prioritizing the efforts to close the border, he can do that. I don't know if he has the resources to do that, but many of the things that he's doing just are for show because they're not going to get very far.
Yeah, certainly to send a message.
And prompting the Bear leader Vladimir to take drastic measures, which appears to be overheating and buckling under pressure. In an interview with Ukrainian Review, Hodge suggested that the Bear country days as a unified republic are numbered, and the country could unified republic are numbered. That the Bear country days as a unified republic are numbered, and the country could fragment into numerous smaller states. could be divided. Again, that's a big empire. The Bear Country is massive. And just imagine being divided. It happened to the Roman Empire. It was divided into 10 kingdoms when it collapsed, and Pompeii volcano did the rest of the damage. But it did happen to the Roman Empire, which is now Europe. And you guys know Europe is divided. I mean, you got all them kingdoms now, all them.
Now we all know the Roman, not Romans, forget about them for now. The Russian Empire. If you don't know about that land over there, that was a lot of black land. Those were black people that owned all that land. So, and that's a big empire, and they were different empires in that land. That makes it that one massive empire, all stuff they stole. So what does that mean, y'all? This simply means that is collapsing, because things must go back to the way they were, because your land, your property must be returned back to you. All this, remember, the whole world, the whole earth was ours. So I don't know what tribe, black tribe that was in Russia. I don't know what the name form is. I've done research, but it's not enough to tell you what the tribes are, who were the tribes, besides the fact they were all black that was over there. So they're breaking down and probably to at least 10, or since that was a pretty big one, which is bigger than, I believe, Rome's, probably 20 different countries now, because they're going to have to. And what does that mean? That means that everything that they work hard for, to kill your people for, to hang them for, to come and kidnap and steal your kids and steal your land for, was a waste of time. It was all for nothing. You can imagine while Putin sends his message out in desperate need of help, that he understands and knows this, because Putin knows the people who, as far as our people who was in charge, he knows that we was in charge. He got pictures, he got evidence. He showed Trump this. Remember, him and Trump were cool at one point. They are business partners, but I'm pretty sure with Putin is desperate, y'all, and Putin's sick. Putin's a man with nothing to lose, if you didn't know. He has X amount of time to live. Facts, you can look this up. He has nothing to lose and everything to gain. He's a desperate man, and he's been pulling on Trump's coattails, saying, give us some help. My country's falling apart. Give us some help. We're going to have to split up into probably 20 countries, just like Rome did. Everything's collapsing because we can't hold this thing together. And you really, let me ask you this. And don't answer, just think about this. Do you really think Trump can guster enough money up with this country to help them? How is he going to do that, first off, before you answer that question? Because I probably shouldn't ask that question, because now I realize that was probably a trick question. They on a gold standard. United States is not on a gold standard. How can Trump help them? Think about that. It's kind of hard to help somebody when they're on a gold standard and you're on a paper standard, and your paper is not backed by gold. Ain't it?
This video today is January 21, 2025, and welcome to the Real GS News channel. Guys, before I start, give this video a big thumbs up. And once again, thank you so much for the support. It says here, the Trump administration has issued an executive order requiring all federal agencies to shut down their diversity, equity, and inclusion offices by Wednesday, as the deadline is by 5 p.m.
And why is he doing this? He's doing this to make the housing market more affordable for what you want to call Americans. He's making everything more affordable. He's actually making Federal Reserve to cut down some of this stuff, as far as the stuff they're trying to say that you owe them. Maybe he might make them give y'all some of y'all checks back, checks that y'all never got from y'all taxes. I heard about that. A lot of y'all got $3,000 and $4,000, $5,000 checks out there. The government ain't sent to y'all for over 3-4 years since Biden got in there. And y'all still waiting on the check. that they ain't ever sent y'all. Maybe he might do that for you. That would help you get you something that you could pull all the way to some land and you could live in it, right? Like an RV or a fifth wheel. Maybe you can buy, like my homeboy brought, along those long, big old houses. He got 2 of them for cheap and then fix them up, and still have money left over after finish fixing up. Just like he did. He did that recently. He got 2 nice ones. Matter of fact, I'm trying to find out from him the guy's number that he going through, because apparently this guy that he went through apparently got his friend that he knows, all right, my buddy's friend that he knows, 5 of those for cheap as well. She got 5 of them on her land, to the point that all her family is housed. Y'all got their own houses. She got her own space. Her kids got her own space. She kind of overdid it. But hey, fuck it. Hey, it's just how you want to live. That's why you buy land, right? And so she don't need it no more, and he's selling everybody else. I'm about to get me a couple from him and put it on a couple of acres, just not even just for me, to be honest with you, because that's cap. It ain't for me. I'm going to do 1 for me on my land and then 2 or 3 for the folks on the other land. And hey, man, we can get some folks in there that want to be over there. And might even get 4 or 5 over there. And that's enough for folks that want to be over there who wants to be over there. You know what I mean? So, hey, look, every don't cost you an arm and a leg. Think about that. Let's keep going, though. I'm getting off the subject.
All right, so this breaking news is coming out right now, guys, and we have some more information. Donald orders emergency action on housing cost. Donald has directed all executive departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief aimed at lowering housing cost and expanding the housing supply. This bold move underscores his commitment to making homes affordable for Americans. One thing I tell you guys, I just purchased a home like 13 months ago, and boy oh boy, the price went up. It did. It went up. This last 4 years under Joe, it was terrible. It's like us homeowners and landlords, I mean, it's just, we couldn't breathe. It just, just raising the prices on everything is really sad. Really sad. We never had a sleeping giant leader for the past 4 years. We never had one. Breaking news once again. Okay, so this is the same one here. So once again, we're going to focus on this one here. Donald administration has ordered every gov agency to shut down their DE, offices by tomorrow at 5 p.m. All right, so we're going to pull that breaking news. Here we go. And please share the video. The more thumbs up, the better. YouTube sees that, and they can actually, share my video to many, many people out there on YouTube platform. So please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for the support. Donald is directing that all federal diversity, equity, and staff be put on paid leave. And that agency developed plans to lay them off. According to a memo Tuesday from the Office of Personnel Management. The memo follows an executive order Donald signed on his first day, ordering a sweeping dismantling of the federal GOV, diversity, and programs that could touch on everything from anti-bias training to funding for minority farmers and homeowners. Now it says here the memo direct agencies to place DE office staffers on paid leave by 5 p.m. Wednesday and take down all public DE focus web pages by the same deadline. Several federal departments had removed the web pages even before the memorandum. Now by Thursday, federal agencies are directed to compile a list of federal DE, offices and workers as of Election Day. By next Friday, they are expected to develop a list to execute a reduction in forced action against those federal workers. Share the video, guys. Now it says here, Donald has ordered a sweeping dismantling of federal gov diversity and program that could include everything from anti-bias training to funding minority farmers and homeowners. Now, the executive order accuses former President Joe of forcing discrimination programs into virtually all aspects of the federal gov through diversity, equity, and programs known as the DEI. So the order gives all federal agencies 60 days to close all offices and positions dedicated to DE and dismantle any aspect of programs, grants, and contract related to diversity, equity, or environmental justice. That step is the first salvo in.
So Trump is doing a lot of good things. Remember, there's two things to look out for in this term, though. All right, we should look at those two things in this term, though. I've been telling you that for obvious reasons.
I guess time.
Now, let's go ahead. And there's been some more things that need to hear. Now, this was a strange ass inauguration. I do understand, like most of y'all understand and should have known by now, that every inauguration is some type of ceremony. They do their crazy ceremonies. You know what I'm talking about. However, we're not going to watch the inauguration, because that's not what we're going to do. We are going to look at certain parts of the inauguration and about how rare it was. And also, we're going to get off the inauguration as quick as possible and talk about the real thing we're here to talk about, which is actually going to be the fact that there's some very strange. He's doing a lot of good things, and I cannot tell you he's a good guy. I told you he's gonna make peace and then switch on y'all later, switch on us later. I told you all this, all right. But what I'm saying is, there's some red flags behind the closed doors that nobody's talking about that can clearly let you know what is his end game. And then you can see beyond the fact that he's doing all these good things and realize that, yeah, Trump is doing all these good things. He is. He's going better than the Bidens. He's going better than pretty much almost every president we had, except for John F. Kennedy, right? And the 3 or 4 black presidents that were before him, before they took our country, right? He's doing it good. That's what it looks like anyway, right? But we all know the switch up is coming, and now you're about to see.
Execute
The office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability,
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
The inauguration of Donald Trump was very strange indeed. Case in point, the outfit that Melania was wearing was very odd, to say the least. And the fact that the color purple was present was very strange too, because as people know, red and blue make purple. Democrats, Republicans are red and blue, and it makes purple. And he's talking again about the golden age of America, and that is very occultic in and of itself, because the golden age has to do with Saturn worship, Saturnalia. The golden age.
Now, here's something I knew. Now, Trump is what you would call a Don. All right, if you don't know what the Don is, if you think about mafia stuff, the Don would be like the top cat, the guy you got to ask all the questions, the guy you go to the ass before you go whack somebody, if you can actually go whack them. Trump is supposed to be the Don in this play they got going on, right? Trump is also a time traveler. So Trump, the Don, the Trump card, the Don card. All right, I'm putting these pieces together for you. Now keep watching.
Or the Golden Dawn is also associated with Aleister Crowley, right here. The Magician of the Golden Dawn, the story of Aleister Crowley. And when you think about it, Donald Trump, it's very interesting indeed that Donald Trump continues to push this idea of a golden age coming to America when that has to do with Saturnalia. And again, it's very interesting how the color purple was present, as I've stated. Joe Biden was wearing it. Trump was wearing the purple tie. Very interesting stuff indeed. And could that be a sign of things to come? I guess time will surely tell, because they select certain colors, they select certain symbols for certain times and for certain seasons. Could this be a preview of them showing you of the coming one world order where everything is united? Because it really seems as if this is where we are heading, and it seems good on the surface, everybody being united and everything else, but this is all setting the stage for the false light, the false golden age, aka the new order system. When you really put the puzzle pieces together, you will see this, because the World Ahead 2024 edition of The Economist magazine showed red and blue merging together in the middle, right under the ballot box. So I find that very interesting how the color purple was present. And of course, red and blue, when it's together, it makes the color purple. Some very interesting times indeed. And who really knows what else is to come in the near future, but I just find it very interesting how he continues to talk about this golden age. Here you see the rest of the occultists here at this inauguration. Bush, his wife, Obama, Dana White, and the list goes on. All of these people are puppets. And is it just me, or does it look like George Bush is wearing some type of mask? Maybe I'm just being too paranoid. Is this even the real Bush? Is this even the real Obama? Who really knows at all? Who really knows? But it's just very strange indeed. And this is all setting the stage for the new order system, in my honest opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion entirely.
Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
There we go.
And then he's talking about how God saved him to make America great again. From that event that was a WWE type of event. If you know, you know. And also the fact that he is renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This is just further setting the stage for the new order, the one world order. This is what this is setting the stage for. This is why he continues to talk about this golden age and everything else, because all of these things are setting the stage for the new order system. This is why he continues to even talk about how he wants Canada to merge with the United States, Mexico, and the list goes on and on and on. And those weren't the only puppets, speaking of Obama and them, at this, because, of course, the AI tech overlords were here. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, Elon Musk was there because he's linked with Trump, Jeff Bezos, and the list goes on. All of these people are part of the same club. And it's very interesting how Mark Zuckerberg is also wearing the color purple. Very interesting indeed. But all of these people are part of the same club. These people are about the AI takeover. And this is where we are heading. We are heading towards this AI takeover. This is what these people want. They want to replace humans with AI. And this is all setting the stage for this. This is why you see all of these AI overlords at this inauguration, having a prominent stage at this inauguration. Even Tim Cook. I mean, come on. You all know about Apple. It's more truth in plain sight. All of these people are part of the same club, and they are showing you without telling you that they are all part of the same club. Like, oh, truth. They are just showing respect to the office. That's all that they are doing, man. Sure thing. Sure thing. They are telling you without telling you that they are all in the same club. This is why you've seen Obama and Trump chit-chatting, laughing and stuff like that at Jimmy Carter's funeral. This is why you've seen that. Because both sides, Democrats and Republicans, are wings of the same bird. This is what these people are. They are all in this agenda together. And I hope more and more people wake up and realize this. I really do, but it really doesn't seem as if this is the case because, again, I have family members that truly...
That's a perfect place for me to pause it real quick. All right, so as you see, these are one big happy family. They all are related. These are the Blackamoors. Some of them, all of them that are here became president, and some of the relatives are descendants of the one that they call Amun-Ra. I rebuke that name. He is a Blackamoor that wanted everybody to serve him as if he was the Most High when they have no royal blood and they cannot be part of what you want to call the Most High, although we don't use them terms. I'm just trying to meet people where they at, if y'all understand. We don't go by Most High. We don't pray to nothing. We don't serve nothing. We know not to. Y'all should know not to. We just go by the fact that we are who we are, what we are, why we are, where we come from, and why it explains who we are. And that plain and simple to let you know that you are the very thing they was praying to, except they didn't realize they've been calling on names. And the fact is, up there is no name. There's a title. But then again, you're talking about a whole bunch of people on the side of one thing. So it's really a home. But that's another ball game. I don't want to get too complicated on y'all because I tend to do that sometimes. All right. So that's one big happy family. We're just going to give you some good news now, right? So like I did tell y'all, this just proved my case that, yeah, Trump is given what they call a treaty. Because everything he's putting is stuff that we've been telling everybody, this shouldn't be this way. It should be this way. We don't like this. It should be like this. So what is Trump doing? Catering. He's catering to everybody, right? That's when you pander, you cater to. But the problem is who's in his earlobe? Elon Musk. Elon Snake Musk. That's right. And Elon Musk is in his earlobe, and Trump has already promised, and Trump is going to bring all his promises in. But he's done all the good stuff. Yeah, that's great. But the bad stuff is Trump is promising that, yeah, he is going to go ahead and make sure the digital currency is in by the end of his term. Why by the end of your term, Trump? So, because you got to set up for somebody else called Elon Musk, right? Okay. All right. You're shutting down the federal to make things more fair, to strip them of their power so that it can be given to you so that you can make sure that they do it fairly so that you can hand it over to Elon Musk. Man, this ain't the bait and switch if I ain't never seen one. Boy, I tell you, man, this is one of those spiritual bait and switches. Okay. So that's why, so you're doing good to do evil, Trump, is what you're basically doing. So then when you hand the Elon Musk, let's not skip over this because they made sure they wanted to mention that. He made sure he said it. The one-day worship put into law by the end of Trump's term, which is going to be you worshiping Elon Musk because he's going to hand it over to Elon Musk. So Trump is setting everything up for the Antichrist Elon Musk. Is what it comes down to. He's doing everything nice. He's playing nice for now. He's making everything. He's getting rid of power certain individuals or certain places and certain companies that really shouldn't exist, right? And he's getting rid of people that shouldn't be here, right? Doing what we want, right? But at the same time, he's making everything gonna be straight so that Elon Musk can step right in, because Trump is the Don, the last Trump, the last Don, right? The last mafioso Don, because your government is a mafia if you didn't know. And that last Don is going to hand it over to the world leader, because there is no more Dons. There will be no more presidents. There will only be a dictator that runs the world, known as Elon Musk, who, the more I watch him, the more I look at him, he does look like a damn AI robot. And this is exactly what these guys want. And he's been making a whole lot of Elon Musk robots, buddies, and all this other stuff, making all these robots and all this technology. You just follow this technology, and Elon Musk is the guy behind it. The chip in the brain, Elon Musk is the guy behind it. The one in the hand, somebody also made that one, but Elon Musk is taking that patent over, and so now he's the guy behind it. So what's really going on, right? So we all know where this is leading to, but let me get you to the good news, because after hearing all that, some good news, but as good as being done, because it's going to be handed over to the ultimate evil so that all evil can do all the evil stuff it wants to, right? Let's talk about the fact that Mexico has recognized, we'll use their language for the sake of conversation, Black folks as native, as indigenous, Afro people, as that was part of that land, which was true. And to go even further, they have also said that these people will now be allowed to make their own countries, their own laws, their own government. They will govern themselves. They will have their own armies. They will have their own presidents. Do you see where this is going? Because this is going to happen as a domino effect, not from just there, but every country, including this one. People are going to say, and they're going to put into law, because this has been put into law in Mexico right now, has been put into law, that this is happening. And once Mexico does this, all the other countries will follow suit. And that's how we get our places back, because they have to recognize us by law, and they will, and they have to get everything back, and they will. It's already happening in Mexico as we speak now.
It's all the way up. All right, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
Presidenta de Mexico,
Let's go.
Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, signed 2 edicts into law, which are breathtaking to say the least. What she did and what she signed into the Mexican Constitution are 2 parts. The first part was that the indigenous people within Mexico of many different tribes will now have the ability to have their own sovereign nations.
Okay.
Now, bear with me here. So basically, a commission is set up to recognize those indigenous nations within Mexico and teach them and show them how they can rule autonomously and set up their own rulership over their own people, because there's a lot of indigenous different tribes within Mexico. The second part of that edict that was signed into the Mexican Constitution recognizes, and hear me out here, Afro-Indigenous. So, and that basically states that written into the Mexican Constitution, it is now law that the Afro-Indigenous are recognized as full citizens of Mexico and are afforded their indigenous status. And then she went on to state that Mexico recognizes that Afro-Indigenous people were on this continent hundreds of years before the Spaniards stepped 1 foot on the soil.
Facts. Straight facts. Brother Rail, aren't you Black Mexican? If I'm wrong, correct me. But in case if I got this right, your land will be waiting for you now that you see where your land is at. You got land just waiting for you, brother. You got land waiting for you. And by the way, when they was talking about all these tribes, this is for the camps, and I'm not disrespecting the camps. This is just some education. This is what I call learning, teaching. This is time for teaching. I forgot exactly what the term was that's used to say what I'm trying to say, but y'all were saying, oh, these guys, all these outside nations are our people. What y'all had wrong was the outside nations that they claiming that our people was supposed to be all black, and they wasn't actually outside nations. They were saying all this stuff before we got invaded, this planet got invaded. Okay? And there wasn't that many damn nations that y'all saying that was our people. Y'all add another motherfuckers in on top of all that. So in other words, what I'm saying, the whole world was black. I'm just being honest. The whole world was black. And again, here's the other thing. And just because the whole world was black don't mean all of them was our people. So you camps that were putting in all these outside nations, and that's something that you should have been doing. Because what you were doing, putting outside nations in, was wrong, because they're not our people. Everybody look black don't mean that's you. Now, it is true that they were all black. All the other nations were all black. This is fact. And they were on this land. They were on this earth, not this land of the United States. They were on the earth. And they were on the earth. They had their own lands. And they lived in peace and harmony. And they didn't bother us. Okay? They didn't bother us. There was no war until we got invaded. But that's another ball game. Okay? So it is good. Now, when we talked about Mexico, that's another ball game, because we do know that black Mexicans, we're using their terms now, were our people. They had a whole other name for them. I forgot which name was. The Dogo? No, not them. That's wrong. I know that's definitely wrong. I forgot the name. Y'all can look it up. But that means they can get their land back. About time. This means that means we gonna get our land back, y'all. For the ones who will be left here, the rest of us is going on to a whole new earth. Or if I don't have that correct, the other ones get trapped into an old earth, and this will be a new earth. Because the new earth is supposed to look totally different. And the land is supposed to heal itself. So we'll as the book says, we'll understand better as time goes further. Okay, because we're gonna keep remembering things. This is a good thing that people now can have their land back in Mexico. Bang.
It completely changes the narrative of what we've been taught. It completely changes the idea that Columbus was here and there's just Mexicans. It flips it right on its head. Everything is out the door. This is a very intelligent woman. And what she has stated are what people on different social media platforms have been saying for years. Black man was already here. The black man was already here. We didn't come in slave ships. That's not feasible. It would have taken too many ships. They would lose too many people. But if you're taken from Mexico, South America, and taken off the coast and sat off the coast for a couple months and then brought up and dropped off.
Now, here's the cold hard facts I do want to help them get out too as well. Now, to completely correct the camps, when you want to use the outside nations names, not the names they call them today, the older names, but then you don't realize that the names you're using was not supposed to be used for the outside nations. It was supposed to be used for our people who were black with afros and with dreadlocks. We didn't call them dreadlocks, though. We called them ether locks back then. Were our people. And so what y'all did was y'all took other nations, which is sad. And on top of make it worse, they weren't even black. And if they were black, if they wasn't one of us, it still didn't matter. So when y'all did that, it was sad the way y'all did it, because y'all really just wanted to get outside nation booty and just call it what it is, man. All right, and I'm pretty sure y'all succeeded, because I've seen a whole bunch of y'all on some of y'all channels. Y'all got married to some of them, and that's y'all business. I wouldn't do something like that. That's y'all business. All right. So even the outside, I apologize. Even for the names that they were giving outside nations. There we go. As far as the tribes, they were putting them on the wrong people. Either you us or you ain't us. Now, people look at this as prejudice talk, racist talk. But unfortunately for y'all, but fortunately for us, this is not racist talk. This is not prejudice talk. This is cold hard fact talk. This is the talk that folks don't want to hear. And this is why channels like mine and other channels, that I know about, have been blackballed. And a lot of you will find yourself being unsubscribed to our channels, and you got to keep subscribing back to them because they're blackballing us because we're telling you all the truth. Which is why we don't have the biggest crowds. We only have about 5 to 6 to 8 or 1,000 followers. And you can guarantee if you get to 1,000 followers, because that happened, and they get you off for a little while, they're going to make it hard for you to get back to 1,000 followers. Never mind these crazy numbers. All the folks who got ridiculous amount of followers, those are the ones who's not giving you the whole truth, and that's why they're allowed to keep talking. All right, let's keep going.
In Boston, that makes it a hell of a lot more feasible, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Afro-Indigenous were here hundreds of years before the Spaniards showed up. I'll put this into perspective. The English Bible, the most widely sold book in history, the Bible. New Testament, Old Testament. You can go back in that Bible to the beginning of time of man.
Okay.
Adam, Eve, his wife, conceived from the rib of Adam, and the Creator took that rib. Their children, Cain and Abel, and how that conflict and one brother slew the other. The creation of the earth, the waters, the fish in the deep, the firmament. Okay, enough Bible lesson for today. But yet we can't go back before Columbus. What was the black man's history? How did he get here? The Phoenician? The Israelite?
Hey, look, I'm gonna let it play again this time. I'm gonna do some interruption. I just wanted to let it play uninterrupted.
I will let them talk, but for now, I think this is enough to let you know that now this is not just falling in the category of where, our people getting their land back. Our people gonna have at least over there because this is gonna be a domino effect, y'all. It's gonna happen all over the world. But for now, in Mexico, they're getting away and stuff like that and all that good stuff. That's great. I'm happy for them. They should. Shit, you fucking right, they should. But this falls underneath the category of they starting to realize that this changes history. They've been lied to. They've been tricked. They've been played. Holy smokes. No, we not Israelites because we're not black and Moors. We're not going to fall for that shit. This is part of the reason why I'm not letting them talk. That should be corrected. Okay? We are who we are. We are what we are. We exist because we exist. We are. And I am that I am because you are what you are. And you exist because you exist, because I exist because I exist, because it exists because it exists. And that the very same that light that they keep talking about, that they keep calling the wrong name and giving the wrong titles, all right, although they admitted to the title that they had to admit to, the Nephilims had to admit to, and even though all the farmers had to admit to the fact that Crater of All is a home. The Crater of All is our place. The Crater of All is where we come from. The Crater of All is where our people go back to. That same light that they see, that they can't touch, that they can't go near, they get destroyed every time they even try to. All of them have. They can't even go to that district. That same light that they fear, they don't understand, that power, that very powerful energy, that very same thing that they see, that they want to touch, that they want to hurt so bad, that they want to go to, the one they wanted to take over so badly, yet they cannot. That very same light is in you because you are part of that light. Because the fact is that we separated ourselves and a Google of numbers which cannot be ever numbered, measured, or calculated. It is unlimited, which means that there's only one spirit, there's only one home, there's only one energy, and we are that energy, which means that's why they attack you, because they hate it and they know you were part of it, so they got to hate you. They try to fight you, because by fighting you, they fight it. Because when they see you, they see it. You should know who you are by now. And the fact is that everything is playing out in every way to strategically give us back and set it back where it was, so that we have everything that was ours from the get-go. This today, although some of you may not like Trump, and yes, of course, I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm just saying that orders taking place was being set back. Even though he's trying to use good, set up things good to be used for evil later, it's only setting things up. Not only, it is setting things up for the AI and all that crap they want, but it's setting things up in order so that we get all our shit back. There's going to be an alternate universe, y'all, and I keep telling you that. You don't have to be part of that mess of tragedy they're going to take part in. You can decide to separate. And separation is starting to happen because the land is being freed up so we can be sovereign people again, because that's what we are. And we can govern ourselves again, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. And that we don't have to worry about these outside nations telling us about their laws, their demands, and how we're supposed to live under their thumb and their rule, and how they want to sit up there and try to make us do what they want, right? And the whole 9 yards, we ain't got to do that, y'all. We ain't got to go through the same struggles and messed up trials that they got to go through. Let their crimes and their problems be on them. We can go ahead and get the move on and get away from all this bull crap, all this mess. We ain't got to be part of this bull crap no more. It is a fact that when something like that, as big as that, look at history repeats itself, takes place. And when people sit up there and they say, okay, we have to admit that this is their people's land. They were here first. This is really not ours. That every other state, every other country is going to have to do the same. That includes the United States, whether they like it or not. They will worship you and fall on their knees and realize who you are and what you are, and realize that if it wasn't for you, truth be told, because we really want to get down to it, that one spirit, the creator of all, us, and that home, that electricity, the great ball electricity that we are all one together, created everything. And unfortunately, things we created all these other things, including them. So at the end of the day, even if we don't like it, and if they don't like it, their whole existence is owed to us, and they will have to bow down and realize who's the master, who's the piper. Because at the end of the day, no matter how you try to avoid paying the piper, you got to pay up. Peace and love.